Hare Krishna, listening from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, text 29 onwards. तस्यां तु कर्हिचित् क्षौरिर् वसुदेवः कृतोद्वहः देवक्या सूर्यया सार्धं प्रयाणे रथमारुहत् उग्रसेन सुतः कंसः स्वसुः प्रियचिकीर्षया रश्मीन् हयानां जग्राह रौक्मयी रथशतैर्वृतः चतुःशतं पारिबर्हं गजानां हेममालिनाम् अश्वानामयुतं सार्धं रथानां च त्रिशतं दासीनां सुकुमारीणां द्वेषते समलङ्कृते दुहित्रे सेवकः प्रादात् यानैर्दुहितृवत्सल. Text 29. So, in order to see text 29, let's see what was text 28. So, 28 was about, okay, Mathura. So, it says Tasyam. So, this Tasyam stands for Mathurayam, in Mathura. So, Tasyam, Mathurayam, Karhichit, at some point of time, Shaurihi Vasudevaha Krita Udvaha. So Udvaha means Vivaha, Krita Vivaha. So referring to Vasudev, who is also called Shauri, and who had just married. So he, along with Suryaya Devakya Sardham, so along with the newly wedded wife, so Suryaya is Navavivahita. So along with Devaki, the Navavivahita wife, the Devaki, so along with her, Vasudeva Prayane. So when they were about to leave, so what they did was Ratham Aruhat. They mounted the chariot. Aruhat means to mount, and Ratham is the chariot. So that was 29th. Then Ugrasenaha, Ugrasena Sutah Kansaha, Kansa, who was the son of Ugrasena, Swasuhu Priya Chikirshaya. So in order to do good for his sister, or in order to please his sister, Swasuhu Priya Chikirshaya. So by that intention, to please Devaki, his sister, he um, Hayanam Rashmin Jagraha. So he took hold, or he held, or yeah, the Rashmi. So basically, he took the the reins of the horses. Haya refers to the horse, and Rashmi is the rope, the rein by which to control the horses. And Jagraha, he grabbed. Ratha Shatair Vritaha Rokmai. So Rokmai Ratha Shatai Vrita. And Kansa, he was surrounded by hundreds of chariots, or rather say hundreds of golden chariots. So Rokmai refers to Rukma refers to gold, and Rokma refers to golden, something made of gold. So he was surrounded by Vritaha is Avritaha by hundreds of golden chariots. So this is also Visheshana for Kansa. So maybe let's put it here. One B or one A something. One one B. So that was 30th. Then Chatuhu Shatam Pari Barham Gajanam Hemamalinam Ashwanam Ayutam Sardham Rathanam Chatrishatpat Shatam Dasinam Sukumarinam Dveshate Samalankrite Duhitre Devaka Pradat Yanair Duhitre Vatsala. So these two verses will go together and Anvaya. So Devaka, the king Devaka, father of Devaki, he he was very affectionate towards his daughter Duhitri Vatsalaha. And then Yane, which means this is Yanai, but I think in BBT it is Yane Pathantara. So at the time of Vasudeva and Devaki's departure, at that time, he, Devaka, Duhitre unto his daughter. So the Kriya is, the verb is he gave. So we'll bring this verb at the end. So he gave his daughter, uh, so basically it's Pari Barham, which refers to, like in today's word, we can say dowry. Uh, Varavadh- Varavadho Deyam or Varavadhubhyam Deyam uh, Vivaha Kale Varavadhubhyam Deyam Dhanadikam Iti Paribarham. So Paribarham refers to the objects which are given to the bride and the groom at the time of marriage ceremony. So that's Paribarham. So basically like a dowry. Um, so what was the dowry consisting of? So it says Gajana Chatushatam Gajana, um, so 400 elephants, right? And then okay, so yeah, so he gave 400 elephants, Chatuh Shatam for 400 elephants, Hema Malinam, which were decorated with golden garlands. Hema is golden and Mali, so the golden garlands. Then he gave Ashwanam Ayutam, so 10,000 horses. Then um, Rathanam, Sardham Rathanam, just Trishat Shatam. So then he gave Trishat Shatam. So that is 3 into 6, 18 and 100. 1800 chariots. And then Dasinam Sukumarinam Dve Shate Samalankrite. So Dve Shate Samalankrite Dasinam Sukumarinam. So he gave 200 Dve Shate. Shata means 100 and Dve means 2. So 2 into 100 is Dve Shatam. So he gave 200 decorated. Samalankrita, uh, young maidservants. So all these were the Pari Barham, the dowry which Devaka gave to unto his daughter Devaki. So this was the Anvayas for the four verses, the four shlokas. Okay, so any question here? Otherwise, we'll move towards the tea. Okay. Mm. Okay, the tika is not that much. So Shridhar Swami says for 29th, he gives an equivalent for the word Suryaya from verse 29. So he says Navodhaya. So Navodhaya refers to Nava Vivahita, a newly married. So it's a Visheshana and adjective for Devaki. So Devaki who was newly married. Then Prayane, Prayanartham. So Prayane, the equivalent given is Prayanartham. So when for the sake of leaving. Rashmin refers to Pragrahan, again an equivalent. So Rashmi refers to the rein by which to control the horses, which a charioteer holds. So that's Pragrahan. And Pari Barham is Upaskaram. So Pari Barham refers to Upaskaram, like Upaskar or a dowry. Um, Vanshidharji explains a bit more about these things. Okay. For text 30th, he gives this comment here. Vivah, so Kansa, he held those reins, the Rashmi of the horses. So he's explaining that Vivaha Kale Ratha Rashmi Grahanam Atyanta Bandhunam Karyam iti Darshanartham Rashmi Grahanam Kritvan iti Vyajyate. So at the time of marriage, uh, Ratha Rashmi Grahanam Atyanta Bandhunam Karyam. So those who are very close, very Atmiya, close relatives. So it should be like to hold, the reins of the horses, to take over that service of being a charioteer at events like marriages. So Atyanta Bandhunam Karyam iti Darshanartham. So Kansa wanted to actually display or to show that how much he loved Devaki, how much uh, close Devaki was to him. So in order to show that, he held those reins. So that's why this act of Rashmi Grahanam, holding the reins, is implying that or depicting that. Even today, I don't know if yeah, it must be happening, at least in India. Like the brother of the bride. Now we don't have chariots now, so we have the cars. So they drive the sister to her in-laws house too. So it's been a tradition, and Kansa was also respecting that tradition. So he was driving chariot. Nowadays they drive cars. So yeah. Then Paribarham, he is explaining Vivaha Kale Duhitre Yad Diyamanam Rajyogyam Dhanam Tat Paribarham. So Paribarham is that uh, sampatti, that wealth which is given to the daughter at the time of marriage, and that dhana is Rajyogyam, as per the king's capacity. Yes. So that was the commentaries for these verses. Yeah. Okay. Anything here? Moving ahead. Text 33. Shank Turya Mridangani Nedur Dundubhayah Samam प्रयाण प्रक्रमे तावद् वरवधूः सुमङ्गलम् पथि प्रग्रहिणं कंसमाभाष्याः शरीरवाक् अस्यास्त्वामष्टमो गर्भो हन्ता यां नयसे बुध इत्युक्तः स खलः पापो भोजानां कुलपांसनः भगिनीं हन्तुमारब्धः खड्गपाणिः कचे ग्रहीत तं जुगुप्सितकर्माणं नृशंसं निरपत्रपम् वसुदेवो महाभाग उवाच परिसान्त्वयन्. The Anvaya goes, Tavat Varavadho Prayan Prakrame. So at the time when both the bride and the groom Varavadhu were about to begin their journey, or when they had begun their journey at that time, Sumangalam Shankhaturya Mridangani Dundubhayah Samam Neduhu. So the auspicious sounds of the dundubis, special kind of drums, shankha, conch shell, turya, mridanga. So all of them they were being played simultaneously, samam. Then the next verse. Okay. So pathi pragrahinam kansam, a sharir vak. So the karta, the subject here is a sharir vak. So vak means a speech, a statement, and a sharir means an invisible statement or words. So it will be explained more in the Tika, a Sharir Vak. So basically, Akashvani, an invisible voice. So such invisible voice, Pathi Pragrahinam Kansam Abhashya. So the voice spoke to Kansa, who was holding the reins of the chariot, who was acting as a charioteer, and and the chariot was on the road, the street, Pathi. And what did the Asharira Vak tell? Hey Abudha, O fool, hey Abudha. Yam Nayasa. Yam Nayase or Yam Nayasa. So Yam Nayase, Tvam Yam Nayase. So the one whom you are leading or you are taking, escorting, her Asya Devakyah Ashtamah Garbha Tvam Anta. So her eighth child or womb will be your killer, will be your slayer. So this is the Anvaya for 34th. Then Ityuktah Saha Khalah Papah Bhojanam Kulpangsanah Bhaginim Hantumarabdha Khadgapanihi Kache Agrahit. So this was straightforward. So when spoken in this way, such Kansa, who was Khala, cruel, who was a sinner, who was Bhojanam Kulapansana, who Kulapansana is like Kula Nashaka, who's the destroyer of his Kula, the Bhoja dynasty, and uh, he began or he started to kill his sister. Hantumarabdha means he decided to, and he also started executing it. So in that sequence, Khadgapani, he took the sword in his hand, and then Kache Agrait, he held Devaki by her hairs, Kache. Then tam jugupsita karmanam rishangsam nirapatrapam vasudeva mahabhaga uvacha parisantvan. So then Vasudeva, who is Mahabhaga, he tam jugupsita karmanam nrishangsam nirapatrapam parisantvayan uvacha. So he, Vasudeva, in order to console Kansa, who was going to act very sinfully, jugupsita karmanam, bad karma, who was cruel and who was shameless. So, in order to console such Kansa, he began to say as follows, which will be from the next verse. So, these were the anvayas for these four verses. Moving on to the Tika. So, the Tika says, Abhashya re re kansa iti sambodhya hanta hanishyati. So when the invisible voice spoke to Kansa, so the Shridhar Swami is saying it spoke like it addressed Kansa like re re Kansa. Like in English we say oh Kansa. In Hindi we say hey Kansa. So this is also one style in Sanskrit. Like in Hindi also we say are bhai, are Kansa, are Krishna. So re Kansa, oh Kansa, re Kansa. So in this way Sambodhana was done to Kansa. And Hanta simply means Hanishyati. He will be your killer. Kula Pangsanaha from 35th is explained as Kula Dushanaha, one who pollutes, dilutes traditions of the Kula and so on. Who destroys them. Kula Dushana. Arabdhaha is explained as Udyuktaha, who Udyatshil, who actually made his mind to kill. So Udyuktaha. Like for example, in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Pravritte Shastra Sampate, Dhanuruddhamya Pandava. So Arjun actually he took up his bow, his shastras in order to kill. That was like he didn't actually start to kill, but he was getting ready and he was actually ready. So the same way Kansa was Arabdha, Udyukta. Kache is explained as Kesh Bandhe. Like the Mataji, the woman, they do. So the hairs, they put it, they tie it. So that's the bandhana, the kesh bandha. So Devki also had the kesh bandha, the hair tied together, and then Kansa grabbed those hairs which were tied. So in the commentaries, this is a very simple and very mm, yeah pervading rule or thing which we can see that the commentators they take words from the shloka which they are commenting on and then they gloss it. Now, glossing the words mean they give equivalent words for them or they explain those Sanskrit words. It could be by one word like a synonym or it could be a long vigraha vakya, a gloss. So if you see here, Kula Pansana is from the verse and then equivalent is given. Arabdha is from the verse and then equivalent is given and so on. So this is one common practice in the tikas, and this is called padarthokti. Uh, this service provided by the commentary is called padarth ukti. So ukti means saying the meaning of the padas, the words from the shloka, which are being commented upon. Padartha. Then Nrishangsam is Kruram. Nrishangsam means cruel. So in Sanskrit, another synonym is Kruram. Mahabhaga iti. Vasudeva is mentioned, is defined, or the Visheshana given for him is Mahabhaga. So, so the meaning of Mahabhaga is being explained here. Ayam Bhava. Swajanmani Harshena Devataihi Anakadundubihi आनकदुन्दुभिः ध्वनिकरणात् भावी भगवद अवतारेण शक्य प्रतीकारता संभवति इति शक्ति शक्य that's shakya, right? Shakya. So when Vasudeva was born, so the demigods, they had made the sound, or they had blew, or they had blown the instrument called Anakadundubhi. Sorry, instrument called Anakadundubhi, and by that they had suggested or they had depicted, or suggested the the capability of Vasudeva, um, because of because of the future advent of Bhagavan, Bhavi Bhagavad Avtarena. Yeah, so that's why Vasudeva is Mahabhaga, referred to Mahabhaga here. Santvayan, so basically he was the nimitta, chosen for the Lord's advent in this world. So that's why he's Mahabhaga, like in nutshell, if we explain this. And that's why that was depicted by the demigods even when Vasudeva was himself born. Santvayan is Tutya, glorifying, praising. Kripa Vishayatvena Upapatibhihi Cha Sama Maragena Sambodhayan. So, yes. So why Vasudeva is glorifying, praising Kansa? Because out of the four principles, Sama, Dama, Dandabhed, while dealing with, or when we need to get some work done from someone, by someone. So Sama is the first principle. So Vasudeva, he employed this path of Sama, which is the path of like glorifying, consoling, pacifying, praising, so that he could, invoke mercy, kripa, vishayatvena upapattibihi. So that he could invoke mercy in the heart of Kansa. That's like a bhavarth. I'm not saying the literal meaning here. In Kansa, so that he could forgive, or he could let go of Devaki. Yeah.
What is upapatti?
Upapatti is happening, occurring, like manifest, becoming visible, appearing. So kripa, what was the word there? Uh, Kripa vishayatvena upapatti bhihi. So basically, kripa becomes visible, or to invoke kripa, so that's upapatti. Or
Thank you.
upapatti here could also be taken as proof, evidence, arguments, because now, like in a verse or two, Vasudevji will glorify Kansa, giving some proof, some evidence, some statements of how he's very merciful, and how he's udar, magnanimous. So that's also part of Sama Marga. So that also could be one understanding of Kripa Vishatvena Upapatti Bhihi. By providing the arguments for Kansa being, like Kripalu or magnanimous or merciful. Yeah, that could be one understanding. Okay. Uh, yeah, one thing here from Vanshidharji Tikas, uh, he explains a Sharira Vak, one of the explanations. So, na lakshitam shariram yoga tapobhyam vina yesham te asharira deva. So, asharir vak. So, there are two words there. One is asharir and one is vak. So, is referring to the demigods, uh, who or whose bodies, whose physical bodies cannot be seen without the help of yoga and tapa, the mystic yoga and the yoga and the austerities. So they are called ashariris, asharira. So the demigods, they cannot be seen by our eyes, uh, unless we practice yoga or tapasya. That's why they are called asharir, and their words or statements is called asharir vak. So basically, the demigods, they spoke to Kansa in this way. So this is one of the explanation given for asharira vak. Okay, so we'll stop here for today. If there's anything to say, ask, a discussion, that could be done.
So this that he's capable to provide to cause the avatar, or to like, what is exactly his Shakya Pratikarata, his capability to do what exactly?
Okay.
To be the father or the instrument?
One. So Shakya Pratikara means a possible remedy, counter agent. Um, so now, so the word here Shakya Pratikarata Sambhavati, Vasudeva will become Sambhavati, the cause of Krishna's advent, right? So he will be the cause of remedy, right? Because the earth was to be saved.
So the Shakya Pratikarata, is it referring to Vasudeva or to Vasudev?
Vasudev, the father.
Okay, so he'll be the remedy because of being the father.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
because he will be the one. Because and that was actually depicted by the demigods when they blew the Anakadundubhi. That dhvani, the sound vibration
Right.
of the Anakadundubhi. So that suggested the Shakya Pratikarita of Vasudeva by the future advent of the Lord, Bhavi Bhagavad Avtarana.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll stop here and we'll resume the next Friday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Dhanabad.